Hi everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie's Cards. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am creating a very special card which is for an Instagram hop that's going on at the moment. It's a collaboration between Heffy Doodle and La La Land Crafts. So I was really happy to be a part of this Instagram hop. And the products I'm using today are the You Go Gull stamp set from Heffy Doodle and the Mini Essentials die set from Heffy Doodle. I was going to use this freshly cut grass die as well, but I didn't end up using it. And from La La Land Crafts, I have the Coastal Marsty stamp set and the Beach Pilings die. So I started off by doing some die cutting, colouring and die cutting. So here is my little Marcy. I've coloured her and cut her out. I have also coloured and cut out some of my little gulls. Just showing you there that I took some inspiration from that stamp packaging for her hat, because I thought it just looked really cool, the little details that added on there. So here are the little gulls that I've cut from that You Go Gull stamp set. And then I have the Beach Piling die from La La Land Crafts. It comes with this little kind of rope piece as well. And then I have some pieces of other cardstock that I cut thinking that I was going to use to create my scene. So that was the piece from the freshly cut grass die set, which I didn't actually use. I have a stitched wave here. I have just a piece of Bristol smooth cardstock and another piece that I cut down to kind of create a sandbank. So I'm doing some ink blending onto this kind of wave piece, and I'm using Salty Ocean Distress Oxide ink, and this is Bristol smooth cardstock. I'm not sure if I said that. In the end, you don't actually see this wave very much. I know it's there and you know it's there now, but you don't really see a great deal of it. So I probably could have skipped this part out, but I added it in to kind of create my scene. I sprinkled that with some water and I'm just picking up the excess there, and you can see it's got some nice splatter detail. Next up is this piece of Bristol smooth cardstock. It measures about 3 inches by about 4 inches roughly, 3.5. It is designed to fit behind a window, which I will show you shortly. So I just kind of measured it to fit in behind the window. And I'm using a cloud stencil to stencil on some clouds using some Tumbled glass Distress Oxide ink. So I'm just keeping this fairly simple, just a very quick kind of bit of ink blending on here. And I'm not going to bother about the bottom part of it because that's going to be covered up in a sec. So next up, I kind of have this slight hill piece, which I'm going to create a sandy bank from. And I'm just going in with some antique linen and some vintage photo Distress Oxide ink and going all over that. I will add the vintage photo just to the very top part of that to create a little bit of difference in colour there, and then I will splatter it with some of that vintage photo as well, just to add some kind of like sand texture detail to it. So if you're interested in hopping along in this Instagram hop, I highly recommend you do so. That you could be in the chance of winning a £25 or $30 voucher to La La Land or to Heffy Doodle. And the Instagram hop is going on until the 22nd of August. So you have a week to enter. And all you need to do is hop along, leave a comment at each of the stops on the hop, and you could be in the chance of winning one of those vouchers. So all the details are on my Instagram page. My Instagram is linked below, so you can go and check that out. And yeah, definitely worth your while joining in. Okay, back to my card. I added a little bit of ink to that Beach Pilings die just to kind of create a little bit of contrast. And now I'm attaching everything together. So I've popped my wave piece on top of my little background cloud piece, and I'm just trimming down the excess. I just wasn't sure where I wanted that wave piece to go, so I kind of like just trimmed it off when I was ready to. And now here is my little beach part, my little sandy part. But I'm going to tuck my Beach Piling die in between the sand and the sea. And I'm just attaching that rope down first. So that rope kind of fits on top of that little beach piling. And it looks so cute and quite realistic, I thought. And then I'm going to pop my sand over the top. Now, I wanted to be able to see the waves behind. But as I say, in the end, they kind of get covered up. But as I say, I know they're there. But it was probably an unnecessary step in the long run. But I've added my beach piling there off to the kind of right hand side of this little scene, and then my sandy piece is going to sit on top. And then I kind of thought about adding the grassy piece in front of that beach pilings, but I wasn't sure whether I liked it or not. I wasn't 100% sure about it, so I left it off. I did go back to it again and think about it again later on, but I decided just to leave it off in the long run. So here is a piece of, this is cornflower cardstock from Heffy Doodle, and I've used that Mini Essentials die set. I used the largest rectangle of that to create a little window in it. So this card piece measures 5.5 by 4.25 inches, and I've cut that kind of window piece from the top right hand side. I then stamped down my sentiment from the You Go Gull stamp set, which says, "Hey Gull Friend." I thought that worked really well for my images today. And then I'm just using some liquid glue around that kind of cutout piece to attach my little scene in behind it. So once I have that securely fastened down, I can go ahead and start building the rest of my card. So I'm going to pop everything down and figure out the placement of where everything is going to go, and then I can secure everything down with glue or foam tape. So I wasn't 100% sure where I wanted my little gulls to go. Kind of fiddled around, goodness, I can't speak today, fiddled around with them to get them into the right placement, and then started attaching them down with the liquid glue. So I'm going to have my flying gull there up in the top. One of them is going to be standing on those beach pilings, and then one is going to be standing on the sand at the front of my scene. So, and then my little Marcy here, she is going to be popped up on some foam tape right at the very front, just to add a bit of dimension. So with the magic of editing there, she's got her foam tape on the back of her, and I'm going to pop her down, just being careful not to cover up that gull. I think I put him too far to the left. I probably should have moved him over to the right a little bit. But we stuck her on, and that is it, all complete. I just need to attach it down to a card base. I've used a standard size white card base, 5.5 by 4.25 inches, and I'll just use liquid glue to attach the whole thing down on top. And I just thought this was a really fun little scene. I love that sentiment with this Marcy stamp set. I think it looks so, so cute. And that is pretty much it. But as I was kind of cleaning up and popping things away, I discovered my little pot of Dress My Craft little hearts here, and I decided that a little white heart on her top, on her red top there, would look really cool. And you will notice I have invested in a jewel picker finally. So I finally have one in my stash, and I could use that to help me place down my little heart. And then I was trying to wipe up the excess glue and moved it and ended up fiddling around with it a little bit more. But I just thought that added a nice little pop, and I really liked the look of that. And that is it. My card is complete. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'd love to see you come back again. And please feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to hop along on the Instagram hop. The link to my Instagram page is in the description box below. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.